I like to say hello and welcome you, good day, that is my name.
Tally Hall is a name I've started to see a lot more in the past few years, which is weird considering that the band has been completely dormant since 2011. So yeah, Tally Hall is the band from Ann Arbor, Michigan that started up back in 2005, and they all met at the University of Michigan.
We went to the same college together, the University of Michigan, and what happened was we were all into this underwater rope pulling club, and that's kind of how we met. It was kind of a weird thing that we all like to do.
When it comes to what genre of music they make, that's more of a tough question.
We like to just play lots of different types of music, so we used to call ourselves a wonky rock band, but then I think people started to try to characterize exactly what wonkiness was, and we didn't want that to happen.
We made up another word,
Fablu. We're a Fablu rock band now.
Tally Hall definitely has their own Fablu vibe to their music, but I think it's especially prevalent in their first album, Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum, which is also the name of a museum that the band used to go to in Ann Arbor.
Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum is just this collection of the strangest machines you've ever seen, and the most entertaining and bizarre, and some of them are dark and some of them are hilarious. I think that when we looked at our sort of catalog, we realized that our songs could give the same effect to a listener.
Also, I want to point out that the name Tally Hall also comes from a local food court they all went to, which is one of many things that really brought the band's personality together, along with their iconic white shirt and color-coded ties.
Hello, we're Tally Hall. This is Ross, he has a gray tie. Zubin, blue. Rob, yellow. Joe, and I'm Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew.
Everyone in Tally Hall really brings their own style to the table, which really shines through in their music. And no, of course I didn't forget Tally Hall's other member, Bora. So with all that out of the way, let's get into the meat, the real meat of this video. Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum definitely did receive media attention when it came out in 2005. They even performed the song Good Day on The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, and the music video for Banana Man gained a lot of traction online, along with many of their other music videos in the coming years.
Do you want a banana? Peel it down and go
Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum feels like a journey, with almost every song on the album progressing fluidly into the next one to form a beautiful 45-minute Fablu masterpiece. Some standout songs in this album were definitely Taken for a Ride, Good Day, and Ruler of Everything. But really, every song on this album is unique and definitely worth your time listening to. But they didn't stick to just music. Looking at the archive of tallyall.club posted on YouTube includes Tally Hall's internet show, which mostly consists of random skits, Boralog vlogs, the band's time in the studio while on tour, and many other vlogs, skits, and that sort of stuff. I would highly recommend watching through Tally Hall's internet show. Even 12 years later, a lot of the jokes and skits still really stand out.
Hey Zub, you wanna run through lines?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Zubin sits in chair shaping aluminum tubing. Rob enters carrying script. Hey Zubin, do you want to run through lines?
Yeah, sure.
Can we get beer on a pizza?
Can we get beer on a pizza?
Get salsa. Get tomato.
Can we get cigarettes?
Oh, get pepperoni too.
Pepperoni too?
Hey Zubes, can you pass the ketchup?
Have you ever tried natural ketchup? Natural ketchup?
So eventually, after a few years of going on tour with Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum and making the internet show, the band re-released the album in April of 2008, which has re-recordings and masterings of all the songs, which is definitely what you're going to hear if you listen to the album. But by this point, it's been the same songs on tour again and again for about 5 years. Very good songs, of course, but people, including Tally Hall themselves, were starting to get tired of them. After a couple more years of doing shows around the US, Tally Hall officially released their second album, Good and Evil, on the 21st of June 2011. And 2 months later would have their final concert together as a band.
Ladies and gentlemen of USA, thank you for choosing Tally Hall's Good and Evil Tour 2011. My name is Bora Karaja. This will be the only tour Tally Hall will perform in direct promotion of good and evil. Please take a moment to congratulate yourselves.
Good and Evil has a very different vibe to it than Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum. I don't want to say generic, but despite also being an amazing album, I think it has less of that Fablu vibe found in Marvin's. But don't let that stop you from listening to this. There are still some incredible songs on this album, and some of my personal favorite Tally Hall songs. Ever since the end of the Good and Evil tour in 2011, Tally Hall has since been on an indefinite hiatus, with all the members going their own separate ways to work on their own personal goals. Andrew, Rob, Ross, and Joe all still work on music, although separately, and Zubin went into the medical field getting a degree in osteopathic medicine at Torah University. And still in 2020, Zubin is still working in the front lines in the pandemic. But I'm going to spend more time in trying to talk about each member individually and what they've been doing ever since Tally Hall was disbanded. On the 12th of December 2012, Joe Hawley, along with some help from Zubin, Ross, Rob, and other non-Tally Hall members, released his musical side project album, Hawaii Part 2, under the name Miracle Musical. This album, while not seeing much immediate success, has started to see some major traction in the past few years. This album has a very magical feeling to it, that can only really be described by listening through it. Hawaii Part 2 is described as genre of infinity, which is expressed through hologram, and features themes of outer space, ancient mysticism, tropical paradise, parallel universes, love, death, and magic. If that sounds deep, it's probably because it is. I'm not gonna overplay and say that it's some life-changing, world's greatest piece of music, but some people do really feel like that for this album. In 2014, Joe Hawley released Hawaii Part 2 Part 2, which consists of instrumentals and demos for Hawaii Part 2. Also in 2014, Joe released Hawaii Party, which is an album of songs from the game Labyrinth, which is a game based off the music video for the Hawaii Part 2 song also called Labyrinth. Unfortunately, I couldn't find too much information on the game itself, but there is footage on YouTube. The game appears to no longer be available for download, however there is a full decomposition of the game, which I will link in the description if any of you want to check it out. In 2016, Joe Hawley released his comedy hip-hop album appropriately named Joe Hawley, and the genre name comedy hip-hop is almost too perfect to describe it.
A basketball. Yeah, well, your mother is a basketball. I went there, your mother is a basketball. A basketball, she's a basketball.
This album has contributions from all other Tally Hall members in some way, including Bora. He's also released a few more recent songs, including Weird Bed and Or Yes Please, Special, and just last week at the time of recording this, Sleigh Ride Invincibility Song, which is sort of a Christmassy song in a similar style to Joe Hawley. After helping Joe with Hawaii Part 2, in 2014, Yellow Tie Rob Cantor released his own album, Not a Trampoline, which consists of mostly alternative and indie songs. Another thing Rob did in 2014 is perform and post Shia LaBeouf live. I mean, everyone has seen this, which is seriously one of the most impressive stage performances I've ever seen. This is the type of thing that I can really respect, the immense work and dedication to just really stupid jokes. Zubin and Bora also make appearances in Shia LaBeouf live, as well as the Gay Men's Chorus of Los Angeles and the West Los Angeles Children's Choir, which has also made other appearances for artists like Madeon in the song No Fear No More. Rob would go on to start producing music for multiple companies such as Intel, and more prominently has been making music for Disney Junior since 2017. Rob also uploaded a video in 2014 titled 29 Celebrity Impressions, One Original Song, where he sings the song Perfect from Not a Trampoline, in, you guessed it, 29 different celebrity voices. But after releasing a making of video, it was confirmed that most were fake and done with audio editing. As for Andrew, who also appeared in 29 different celebrity voices, One Original Song, he has also stayed in the music industry after the Good and Evil tour, releasing his own solo album Etudes of mostly piano solo music, and in 2019 released Etudes 2, which is very similar. Under his own artist name, EDU, Andrew released his album Sketches in 2012, and also Sketches 3D in 2019. These albums definitely carry more of that vibe that he contributed to Tally Hall, reminding me of songs like The Whole World and You, but mostly Andrew spent his post-Tally Hall life contributing to others' musical releases in the New York music scene. Earlier this year, Andrew and Zubin livestreamed a call they had together, which made for some amazing moments.
Okay, guys, what does everyone keeps writing poggers? What does that mean?
They just wanted you to say it. You shouldn't have said it because now it's going to be in memes.
Oh my
You're gonna
god.
be everywhere
You
saying that.
kids. You people.
Ever since the disbandment of Telly Hall, Zubin graduated from the University of Michigan with a degree in neuroscience. In 2013, Zubin entered a contest for the Osteopathic Physicians and Surgeons of California to create a video that educates the public about osteopathic medicine and its profession. Zubin entered a video called The D.O. Difference that made use of metaphorical visuals and was completely shot on just his phone, and still his entry was first. In 2014, while studying for his doctorate, Zubin was part of the Council of Osteopathic Student Government Presidents, and then Zubin got his doctorate and is now happily married with kids. As said before, Zubin is still in the medical field and is currently working the front lines during the COVID pandemic. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find too much information about Ross from shortly after the end of the Good and Evil tour, but he did move back to Ann Arbor to finish his time at U of M and got his degree in molecular biology and is a PhD candidate in immunology at Yale University. Ross has also been working to help the front lines in the pandemic and works for a company called Generate Biomedicines. He stated that he can't say exactly what they do, but it is a biotech group and they are all trying to keep everything under control during the pandemic. And just like Andrew's call with Zubin, this call made for some amazing moments.
I've seen a bunch of trans rights pop up. What do you have to say about trans rights?
Go trans rights.
Yeah, go trans rights. I don't know.
Yeah.
We gotta say poggers. I don't know what that means, but it just keeps coming up on the thing.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of poggers.
As I said at the beginning of the video, I've seen a lot of people becoming more interested in Telly Hall in the past few years, despite being disbanded for nearly a decade now. Asking around a bit, a lot of their more viral music videos like Turn the Lights Off and Ruler of Everything both have gotten pretty popular with millions of views, and many people, including myself, got introduced to Telly Hall through Hawaii Part 2 and the other members' side projects. I hope that this video was able to inspire at least one person to go out and listen to some of Telly Hall's stuff, and I really think that there's no bad place to start. Any of their albums or any of the single members' albums are all perfect places to begin.